Hello, it's Mr. Haynes at Florida Virtual School. I teach math for college readiness, and this video is designed to help you with one of the topics in module number 7 that a lot of my students seem to struggle with. And so we figured, you know what, if a lot of students are struggling with this, let's make a little help video here that will hopefully be able to get them through this together, because you probably realize by now that module 7 is kind of big and scary. And so this is one little piece of that we're going to work on together today. So let's look at this problem together. And this involves evaluating a piecewise defined function. And so hopefully by this point you've tried to do at least 2 or 3 of these problems on your own, so this looks familiar to you. But here's how this works. Suppose that the function g is defined on the interval -2.5 to 1.5 as follows. And then it says g of x, and it's got that big squiggly line thing. I don't even know what that's called. But it says it's going to be -2 if -2.5 is less than x, which is less than or equal to -1.5. It'll be -1 if -1.5 is less than x, which is less than -0.5. It'll be 0 if -0.5 is less than x, which is less than 0.5. And then it'll be 1 if 0.5 is less than or equal to x, which is less than 1.5. So the first thing I want you to think about here is these numbers over here on the left, the -2, the -1, the 0, and 1. What I like to call that is the output. So essentially, this is the output you're going to get if you plug something in to one of these inequalities. So let's look at this first one together. Find g of -1.5. So what we want to do is look and see where -1.5 falls. It's going to be in one of these 4 groups. So since we're dealing with -1.5, let's start up here where these negative numbers are. And what we want to know is -1.5 in this first one, or does it go in the second one? Because if you look, there's a -1.5 there, and there's a -1.5 there. So we need to look next at these 2 signs right here, the 2 inequalities. You see how this one says less than or equal to -1.5? That is our giveaway that we're going to use this top one, because -1.5 is less than or equal to -1.5. If you were trying to cram -1.5 in here, that does not work, because -1.5 is not less than -1.5. Since it's equal, that's why we use this top one up here. So here's what we're going to do. Since we're using -1.5, we're going to use this top inequality. And what is our output? Our output is -2. So if we were to scroll down to the answer here, g of -1.5 is equal to -2. Again, let me show you that. Since we use -1.5 and determine that it goes in this top one, then our output is going to be the -2. All right, so let's look at the next one. G of 0.1. All right, so now we're dealing with a positive number. So we're definitely not going to use this top one because that's all negative. This second one is also all negative numbers, as you can see. Let's look at this third one. And here's what we need to ask ourselves. Is 0.1 between -0.5 and positive 0.5? So what do you think? Yes, it is. You're correct. 0.1 is somewhere in there. It's between the -0.5 and the positive 0.5. So we're going to use this third inequality. And since we're using the third one, what is our output? Our output is 0. So let's double check our answer. G of 0.1 is 0. That's exactly right. So we got that one right. We're 2 for 2. Now we're going to use g of 0.5. Okay, now this comes up again. We've got 2 that we could possibly choose from, because this third one has a 0.5, and then the bottom one also has a 0.5. So which one do we use? And again, remember, look at these signs. Look at the inequalities. Since this is less than 0.5, it does not go in that third one. Since it is less than or equal to 0.5, it will belong in this fourth one down here. So since it belongs there, this is the one we're going to use. And what is the output if we use this bottom one, the fourth one? The output is 1. Therefore, g of 0.5 should be 1, and it is. So hopefully that helped you out a little bit. If not, just rewind to the beginning. If you're still having some issues, let your teacher know, and we will be happy to help.